Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Daily Debate. My name is Ahmed Nader, and tonight we will be focusing on the presidential activities of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi earlier this week, and more specifically yesterday, the inauguration of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the new future or the future of Egypt agricultural production project, which is focused on expanding the new Delta project. We'll be having more details, of course, over the course of the episode of the Daily Debate with my guest for tonight, Engineer Mostafa Naggari, the board member of the Strategic Fruit Commodities Council. Thank you very much for being with us on the Daily Debate for tonight.
Thank you for the invitation.
Anytime. We will be starting straight away with a report about the presidential activities of President al-Sisi on Saturday, the inauguration of the Future of Egypt Agricultural Production Project, or Egypt Future. We'll be having more details in the upcoming report.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi called on Saturday for speeding up the execution of the remaining phases of Egypt's future project for agricultural production before the end of 2023 instead of its original 2024 due date. The president on Saturday inaugurated the mega project located along Cairo's Daba Access Highway in the country's northwest, which is part of the new Delta Development Project aiming to maximize local agricultural production. He called for expanding the implementation of the project and finalizing the remaining phases by 2023 in tandem with the other agricultural projects the state launched in Tushka, Bani Suef and Minya, especially amid the current global circumstances. The new mega project aims to reclaim over 1 million fiddans with the aim of bridging the gap between production, import, and achieving food security and self-sufficiency of strategic commodities, especially amid the current global crises. Project Director Baha Al-Ghannam said during the presentation that he gave during the inauguration ceremony that the four-stage project will contribute to providing several agricultural crops needed in the country, including wheat. Al-Ghannam said that the project will cover 1,050,000 fiddans by its last phase, representing nearly 50% of the new Delta project, which he expects will realize an unprecedented leap not only in agriculture and industry, but also in several other fields nationwide. The first phase of the four-stage project has been fully implemented over an area of 34,000 fiddans, Al-Ghannam said, adding that, based on the original time frame, the second phase will be completed in October over an area of 300,000 fiddans. The third and fourth phase will be complete by July 2023 and July 2024, respectively, covering an area of 700,000 fiddans, according to the director. The project boasts modern agricultural and irrigation systems and optimum management of energy and water resources, guaranteeing the high-quality agricultural production.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate. That was a report about the presidential activities of President al-Sisi on Saturday and inaugurating the Future of Egypt reclamation or agricultural production project. Engineer Mostafa Naggari, what is the importance, the strategic importance of having such a project here in Egypt?
Let me tell you just a few facts.
Yes.
Which are seeing now in the global, okay? By 2050, and this is the strategy of Egypt, to have a strategy called Egypt 2050.
Yes.
The global population will be 9 billion. And according to nowadays data, that the global needs to increase its food production by 80% from now until 2050. Where is Egypt from that? Egypt will be 190 million population, and today we are importing 70% of our food commodities. Okay. The strategy of 2050 is having a part for the sustainable agri-development for the country, which will lead to two positive items or issues. One is the social benefit and one is economical benefit. Okay. Since 2016, actually, President El-Sisi started to look for the production, and we had a committee, which I'm honored to be a board member of this committee, to focus and to follow day by day the production, the supply, and the demand of 14 main food commodities.
Yes.
I just don't want to give figures, but everybody have to know the situation and what is the reaction of the economical crisis all over the world and the Russian-Ukrainian war. Okay, Egypt needs per month 1.1 million ton of wheat each month. We need for rice 300,000 tons of white rice each month. I'm talking monthly basis. For the yellow corn, 1 million ton. For the sugar, 200,000 ton. For the oils, edible oil, 140,000 tons. Tea, faba beans, lentil, this is the poultry, beef, meat, and fisheries, fish. So all of this we are studying day by day, and we are following what is produced in the country and what is the supply chain in the country, with, of course, the help of the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Food Supply.
Yes.
So what happened in the last 2 or 3 years? Okay, the networks of the supply chain have really faced a lot of obstacles. We have seen prices of oil
globally, not just in
globally,
Egypt.
because we are affected. We are not an isolated village, as we say. So prices of the sea freights have increased dramatically. Prices of commodities started to escalate step by step. On the other side, we see that at the beginning of this year, by February, actually 23rd of February, the Russian-Ukrainian war started. And according to that, there was economical sanctions, and this is really the main reaction which is damaging the whole global.
On Russia.
Yes. According to that, the supply chain stopped. There is no deals, there is no contracts. All the agreements which Egypt have done with both countries was waived automatically because it's force majeure. And really Egypt tried, everybody was trying to look for the other sources, while it is not close as the Black Sea markets, but you have to look for the US, you have to look for Australia, you have to look for India, which the freight will be also an obstacle. But Egypt, the government have sacrifices a lot to pay more and more, even for the domestic farmer. And at the end, until this moment, we are still covered. The new crop of wheat is already under harvest, and we expect that to be covered for the coming 4 or 5 months until we see what is going on. Okay.
Yes.
Each of these commodities, the corn supply was very bad, the soya supply was very bad as well. But we had before a strategy to increase our sufficiency limit to 6 months, so we are still covered. Okay.
Yes.
But the supply until this moment is not equal to the demand. So we have to be very careful. That's why always we advise consumers to try to rationally try to minimize or change habits if they can, because this is, we are not far away of what is happening in the global. So if we talk about what Egypt needs, maybe Egypt needs 4 or 5 mega projects similar to Egypt future.
Yes.
We need more and more.
In the space till 2050 or right now?
Yes, we need more. Every 2-3 years we have to increase our area. This is one of the projects which really is well designed and well planned, because it is having a sort of arrangements between the government and the management of this project and the private sector together. So it is a partnership agreement. It's different little bit than the old or previous deals between the government and the private. It is, of course, trying at the end to achieve sufficiency limit much better than before, because
Yes.
we are increasing and we have to cover our demand. Of course, not all the areas are going to be planted by wheat or corn or but at least a part of these areas is going to focus on the main food commodities. There is a big and a strong cooperation between at least 6 ministries. Okay, so
For this project?
Yes. So Ministry of Agriculture is responsible for the agri-researches and implementation of accredited new seeds and seedless to improve the productivity.
Yes.
And also they are responsible to set the program for the weather exchanges, the climate exchange, and they are doing at the moment fine. Okay, Egypt was joined to a union which is very important union in the global. It's called the UPOF, Union of the Producers of Varieties, and they are the implementers of the varieties which can give higher productivity or productivity that resistant for the humidity, high humidity weather, or for the salty soil, or for the high salty water.
Different conditions.
So so they are really giving a very good types of varieties,
Yes.
which is improving the productivity and suitable for different environments, as we say. So this will be helpful. A lot of engagement from international companies, of course, especially for the greenhouses.
Yes.
So we can see Holland is there, Spain is there, China is there. So everybody is trying to promote and for its production, because each country is having a different technique. But at the end, as President Sisi said yesterday, that this is a nation project, and they are, the state will build the greenhouses, a part of it will be greenhouses, and the private sector will run it. So it is a partnership agreement, and different little bit than the previous project, which will attract private to come and to try to participate. So other ministry is the Ministry of Irrigation.
Yes.
Okay.
Of the 6 ministries that are responsible for the
Yes.
project.
Ministry of Irrigation, of course, it's a big part of the project, because as we have seen yesterday, that there is a very rational methods of supplying the water with a very intelligent drainage system and recycling the water. Long ways. I mean, the Dab'a, which we have seen yesterday, it's about
Yes.
180 kilometers canals. Part of it is open canal, and part is pipes with huge pumping stations. So the Ministry of Irrigation and the Water Resources are a big player in that. So Ministry of Planning is very important. The IT, the information technology, is very important, because everything will be connected with digitalization for the country. So easily you can receive all the instruction on your mobile. You can easily follow the instruction. You don't have an agriculture advisor. Only one advisor can follow with a lot of greenhouses or open fields.
Yes.
So, and this is automatically what is done, updated in Europe or in the USA or in Australia.
Yes.
So the project is well designed. The plan was done very good. Everybody have participated in that. We have been invited to take our ideas about what could be planted, what we need, what we don't need. And according to the committee for the food sufficiency for the commodities, we were able to just give our advices. So another ministry is the Ministry of Electricity and Water and
Renewable energy.
Renewable energy.
Yes.
This is a part because I don't know if it is mentioned in the government, but maybe not for the people, that there is something called the Green Agreement, which was signed in November 2019 in EU. And this is really was very, very important agreement to be signed in the European Union. And after having the new president of the USA, Biden, he signed, he confirmed that. What this agreement will lead Europe is presenting an idea and simple that by 2050 there will be zero carbon in the
emissions
in the sphere, yeah, and they are will not be able to receive any commodities or any goods which is not in comply with this agreement.
So we have to do it.
Everybody have to adapt himself. Everybody, and that's why also this project is going step by step on this. So even the petrochemicals which will be used, even in the pipes or in the packaging or whatever, because it's a huge. I mean, it's not only a production, it's a production, and then link it to the food industry. Even the logistics is a big part. There will be pack houses. There will be cold stores. It's not even to take the product as it is fresh. No, you have to add value. So you can receive a raw material at the store, but at the end it will come as a final product to the consumer. So it is always thinking about how to increase the value and how to minimize the water consumption, or as we say, increase the value of each cubic meter of water. Okay?
Yes.
The location of this also was chosen very properly from my point of view.
Daba access.
No, it's not only a Daba. It's a Daba was
This is
only
just a part.
500,000 fedans, but it's a part in Fayoum, a part in Minya. And mainly they have chosen these specific areas for two reasons. As I said in the beginning...
And it's all connected?
No, it is separate. But
so different parts.
It's all under management, same management and the same goal. This is what I said. So at the beginning I said this project have two aims or two goals. One is social and one is economical. So they have chosen governorates which is less in economy than others, with high population. So you will provide them a better chances for jobs. So at the end, you are linking Upper Egypt, a part of Upper Egypt, to the production, and it will come to the limit that you understand what is the meaning of quality, what is the meaning of food safety, which is a key word in the food at the moment in the whole world. It's not only that you produce food, it should be in comply with the international levels of to be clean, or at least with the limits of the maximum levels of residues of the chemicals and the pesticides. So at the end, the project is taking care of each point from what we are saying at the moment.
Yes.
Laboratories will be there. We are trying to to look for a mobile laboratories. It's not centralized to be moving in the areas. We are at the end thinking that the name is Egypt Future, or it could be planting the future. We are really needing to plant more and more to try to achieve a better sufficiency limit for the Egyptians.
To be planting more and more, as you mentioned, Engineer Mostafa and Naggari, this is only, it will be representing about 50% of the new delta that we are hearing about. What is the new delta? What is the importance of having a huge project? Because you've mentioned all these information about what happened yesterday, and this only represents about 50% of what we're trying to do in the near future. What is the new delta? What is the importance of it? And how much can we be doing in the upcoming 2 to 3 years in it?
The new system of plantation in the whole world is changing very fast. Okay.
Yes.
The old delta is still having the old system of plantation. The areas were divided. They were still, until last 2-3 years, they are still using the flood irrigation system, which is not anymore proper according to the lack of water which Egypt is facing. Lately, we have seen a project which I also consider it one of the most important projects in the delta, in the old delta, which is making the pavement of the canals and the streams.
Yes.
This is really a very, very important project for the country. It will save a lot of water, and at the end it will also control the quality of the water which is coming for recycling. Okay. Lately we have heard all that there is a project that the delta will be turned from the flood irrigation system to the modern ways, either by sprinkles or by pivots or whatever.
To be saving water and
Yes.
money.
So it's always, you see that we are not leaving the old delta with all its problems, because even the productivity in many of the crops in the delta is declining. So you can have a better productivity in the desert at the moment. So that's why we are calling new delta, because with the new delta you have to apply the new technology, the new system. That's why.
So the new delta could be producing even more than the older one?
Double, more than double. More than double, and saving at least maybe 200% of the water consumed. So this is the only way to survive, and the only way to try to achieve a better food sufficiency for the people. So that's why it's only my, of course, idea. It will not be the only project. No, it will be always continuous project, and each project will be having the technology of each time. And the improvement in the field of agriculture is improving dramatically. Dramatically.
Every year at least.
Every year. Every year. We have to follow what is happening in Holland or whatever. Each country is having their specific nurseries for implementation of new varieties or new technology of seeding or new technology of harvest.
Yes.
Or new technology of storing. So at the end, everybody is following, and at the outcome of the project, I think it will be good for the Egyptians.
One of the main points that I would like to discuss with you is that you mentioned that the government, they got us covered in the past couple of years, especially with the coronavirus pandemic and then the tensions between Russia and Ukraine. How do you see the importance of the economic reform program, applying the measures that were implemented in the past 7 or 8 years, and the acceptance of the Egyptian people of those measures, and understanding as well, as His Excellency President Sisi always makes, the people understand what is going on. There is transparency and there is information going back and forth between the government and the citizens. How do you see this term, as you mentioned, that the government, they had us covered in the past 7 or 8 years?
You know, I will just remind you the first day that President Sisi was elected, and he maybe gave the first speech.
Yes.
He said that I will not be able to carry the responsibility only by myself.
Yes.
Everybody have to be with him. And from that day, I think that he was open to listen. He met with many of the business people and the industry people, and he was really trying to get an idea about how the country will move, because I can tell clearly now that at